The Moss people are ancient beings, neither entirely spirit nor flesh, who have dwelled in the deepest, oldest parts of the forest. Legends say they were once human, but chose to live so close to nature that they slowly became part of it. Their bodies are overgrown with moss, bark, and mushrooms. They move slowly, speak rarely, and are almost never seen unless they allow it. They can be between 4 and 7 feet tall. Their skin is usually textured like bark or stone, often covered in thick moss and creeping vines. Their eyes are pale, glowing faintly green or gold. Nature itself cloaks them. Some have antlers, branches, or fungi growing from their heads and shoulders. The hollow whisper. The villagers of Windmere always said the forest was too quiet. Beyond the wheat fields, where the earth dipped and the trees grew thick and old, there was a hush that settled like fog. Birds never sang there. No axes ever echoed. Children who wandered too far were gently returned, dazed, barefoot, their pockets filled with strange moss and bark carved tokens. They called it Mirewood, though no maps bore its name. At 15, Elowyn had heard every story of the green-eyed man watching from the brambles, of the girl who came back with mushrooms in her lungs. But she didn't believe them. Her mother was dying, and the herbalist had failed. Only the old woman in the village, craggy and blind, dared whisper their name. The Moss people, she croaked. They hold the secrets of root and rot, but they only answered when the forest bleeds. Elowyn went at dawn. She wore no iron, just linen and a locket of her mother's hair. The forest swallowed her whole in less than 20 steps. Light turned green, paths vanished, time slowed. By noon, her voice was hoarse from calling. By dusk, she stopped feeling cold. Then, movement. A shadow stirred where no wind blew. Leaves rustled through. No birds flew. She turned and saw it, 7 feet tall, bark-skinned, cracked with age. Moss veiled its shoulders. Its face was half a skull, half a stump, eyes like dying embers. Elowyn didn't run. Her knees trembled, but she held out the locket. Please, she whispered. She doesn't have long. The creature tilted its head. Slowly it crouched and pressed a hand, rooted and gnarled, into the soil. The earth shifted. A bloom unfurled between them. A flower she had never seen, silver petals, red veins. It pushed the flower toward her. Take only this, it said, voice creaking like the wind through dead branches, and never return. She did. By the time she stumbled from the forest, stars were out. Her mother drank a tea brewed from the silver flower. She slept, then woke, whole, breathing, laughing as if she from a dream. Eloise never spoke of the forest again, but she often walked its edge, leaving offerings, seeds, carved wood, bowls of rainwater. Years passed, and when she died, old and gentle was her body. Her body was never buried. It was left in the hollow, and the villagers say, on quiet mornings they see a moss-covered figure walking the fields, eyes soft with memory, cradling a flower that blooms only once. The forest whispers. They told him not to listen. That was the first rule of the veil. If the forest speaks to you, his grandmother warned, turn your ears to stone. Whispers are how it begins. But Adric was curious. At 17, curious boys don't listen to old women with brittle bones and eyes like clouded glass. So when the wind curled low through the trees one night, and the whisper found him, he listened. It wasn't words at first, just sound. A sigh in the brambles, a hush in the ferns, a quiet crackle of moss stretching in the dark. But they stirred something in him, a longing, a hunger to know the voice behind the hush. He followed the sound into the timber deep. Everyone knew that's where the forest changed. The trees grew taller than towers. Light-thinned paths curled into spirals. No birds sang. No beast hunted. There, the whispers became clearer. You do not belong to them, the forest said. You are ours, as you always were. The air smelled of wet stone and green decay. Vines wrapped his boots, not to trip him, but to guide him. Adric walked for hours, or maybe days. He didn't feel time anymore. Then he saw them, dozens of them, tall, motionless, formed cloaked in moss, bark, and silence. Their eyes flickered dimly. Green, gold, blue. One stepped forward. Its hand was like twisted oak, its face hidden behind hanging lichen. You've heard of us, it said. Now you must choose. Choose what? Adric said. Voice small in the forest, endless hush. To forget or to become? He hesitated. To forget meant to return. Go home. Live a life of quiet fields and dull winters, forever haunted by the voice he once heard, but could no longer remember. To become, he didn't know, only that it would cost everything he was. He stepped forward. The next spring, the villagers said the forest had grown thicker. The timber deep crept closer to their borders, and sometimes just before nightfall, a new whisper joined the wind, a soft voice, young, curious, and those who listen too closely feel the moss growing behind their ears.